Hello, I'm Loren Steinman, and this is my final presentation for JGEN 200. As you may have learned in your secondary science education, scientific law is an undeniable fact. However, the second law of thermodynamics, which states that heat spontaneously passes from areas of high concentration to low concentration, proves invalid in one mechanical operation. Do you know what this process is? It's actually found in most houses in the developed world. Refrigeration takes heat from a cold reservoir and moves it into a hot reservoir. Vapor compression refrigeration systems, or VCRS, do this by passing a coolant through four mechanisms. This presentation will elaborate on what refrigerants are and how they're used in the refrigeration cycle and what these four mechanisms previously mentioned are. VCRS requires a fluid coolant, such as water, glycol, ether, or freon. The most feasible of these is freon, which is a now generalized brand name for refrigerant. Where there are hundreds of types of refrigerants, only a few are commonly used. CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs, and hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, are the most commonly used. CFCs and HCFCs, like R11, R12, and R22, were commonly used until their dire environmental impacts, such as ozone depletion, were discovered, and they were consequently phased out and banned in the developed world by the Montreal Protocol. The HFC R134A is now the most common type of refrigerant found in most refrigerators in the world. It is more environmentally friendly and still operates as a good coolant. That concludes what refrigerants are. Now we'll go into how they're used in the refrigeration cycle. Vaporized R134A passes into a powered compressor, which hyperpressurizes the vapor and turning it into a superheated vapor. The superheated vapor is then passed over a system of coils in the back of your domestic fridge known as a condenser. This is an isobaric system where the superheat and the latent heat is lost from the coolant, released into the hot reservoir of the universe. It exits the condenser as a liquid, which is passed through a throttling or expansion valve. This throttling valve is an isenthalpic process where a fraction of the coolant is turned into vapor. This results in a saturated mixture of vapor and liquid coolant. This saturated mixture of coolant passes into the top of the fridge, where it goes through a pipe, turning the fridge into a heat transfer system. The heat transfer system works by a fan in the top back of the fridge blowing not hot, but cold air over an even colder pipe. This cools down the air, but the heat from the air passes into the pipe, warming it up, back, evaporating it, thus the name evaporator, turning it into a vapor, which passes it back down the fridge, back into the compressor, beginning the cycle all over again. That concludes what refrigerants are and how they're used in the refrigeration cycle. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this presentation. So the next time someone asks you that wonderful prank, hey, is your refrigerator running? You'll be able to tell them, yes, and I know how it works too. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.